I spoke today with Kerry-Anne Kutz, who's a Montreal-based singer, a very fine singer. But more importantly for this conversation, she's also the founder, 10 years ago, of a festival called Festival de la Voix, Festival of the Voice. It takes place in April, so some of those concerts have already happened, but there's still an awesome and amazing lineup, and she's here to tell us about it. Here's Kerry-Anne Kutz. You've got this amazing festival that's been going on now for 10 years, I think. And now
yes, this is our 10th edition.
Yeah. You're kind of in the middle of it now, or you're partway into it. Tell us now what's coming up. I look at the lineup and I'm awestruck. I want to hear all of them. But tell me now what's coming up for us.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Barbara. You've been a friend for a long time, and
Yeah.
it's really nice to have this opportunity. Thank you for inviting me to
Oh,
speak
it's a
about the
joy.
festival. You know, you and I, we both love beautiful singing and beautiful music making of all genres.
Yeah,
And so
it's
that's
true.
what this festival is about. And we've always had an eclectic mix of musical genres, musical styles, right from the beginning of the festival when it started in 2013. And we've just carried on with that because, you know, one thing that I think is really a lot of fun too is to within a concert have several different musical styles. And I think that that's really been successful because people that wouldn't necessarily go to a classical concert might come out because there's gospel in the
Sure.
second part of the
Sure, there's
concert. And
variety.
so I think it broadens our interest in horizons, musical horizons,
Oh,
and
for sure.
we're also I guess our mm, perhaps our most important mandate is to support the arts and the artists and emerging artists as well as professionals. So we've always had a rich variety of people of also many cultures as our performing artists. And the other mandate is to bring the community together. You know, after a long, and we've had a particularly, you know, another kind of challenging winter. Just, I mean, last week today it's what something. It feels like it's about 25 degrees out,
Yeah,
but
it's
last week
summer
we were in the
today.
middle of it. Yeah, last week was an ice storm, right? So
There's a lot
you
of
know,
challenges.
and yes, and of course, COVID. You know, people are still reluctant to come out.
Are
But
they?
but they
Even
are
at this
coming back.
point?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh yes. Yes, they are. There are still
okay.
some people that used to come on a regular basis
And still won't
that
sit in a
just won't
crowd.
step.
Okay.
No, they
Yeah.
won't step foot in a concert hall or any kind of a
Wow.
gathering.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
also been a challenge. And you know, you would understand this because you're a performing artist. So many of our performing artists have not had the opportunity to rehearse and perform in front of a live audience. That certainly was the case during COVID.
Yeah.
And we need that opportunity. We have to continue to rehearse and be together with our colleagues in order to keep our craft honed and fresh and in good shape.
Yeah. And
So
the audience needs live music. It's one thing to sing on Zoom, and I did a lot of that during those 3 years, and I'm sure you did too. But to be in front of an audience and to have an audience feel what it's like to make music in the air right in front of them, it's very, very special.
I'm
Thank you.
like you, Barbara. Oh my gosh, it's a pleasure, and I think there's nobody that's more excited about attending. And I do attend every concert and
Wow.
every workshop, and because I do it as much for myself as for anybody
Yeah.
else. The artists that are coming to perform for us, I love them.
Tell me
And
about them. Who are they?
on Saturday, April the 15th, we have Rennie Lee.
I love her.
And Rennie Lee, as she was our very first guest artist in 2013. She's now 80 years old, and she performed last year at the festival for a huge crowd despite COVID. You know how many songs are in her set list? 24.
That's a
24, and
huge amount of
it's
energy.
called Dark Divas. And she's singing the music of Dinah Washington, Pearl Bailey, Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan, Ella
Oh,
Fitzgerald, etc.,
sumptuous
etc.
music. Oh,
And
yeah.
she talks about the artists and the circumstances under which they perform this music. And she's with a septet. You know, we've got three great horn players led by Ron DeLoro and a great rhythm section, Jim Doxis, originally from the West
I
Island.
love Jim.
And if you haven't seen Rennie Lee, you should not miss this
Yeah,
show. It's unbelievable. So it was so popular, and we always hand out little feedback forms,
right.
and we ask people, what would you like to hear? Rennie Lee, bring her back, bring her back, bring her back. So
That's
we had so many of
fantastic.
that, and I love Rennie, and
I do
she's, you
too.
know, she's just such a fine musician and a great singer at 80 years of age. And if you watch the way she moves on stage, I mean, she's flying across the stage. She's like like a locomotive. She
Wow.
never stops. So that's on Saturday in Hudson, in beautiful Hudson, St. James Church.
Okay.
You know, really overlooking. We have a bank of windows all around the performance area. So people look out, they look at Rennie, and then they look at the
Oh,
septet, and then this
beautiful.
beautiful bank of windows. So
Oh,
it's really
wow. So the
lovely.
environment's beautiful too.
Beautiful, yes.
Good for
And
you.
then on the 16th, Sunday of this weekend, I'm absolutely thrilled to say that we have Danielle Lavoie. Yes, I guess I'm kind of starstruck, you know. I'm crazy about this performer, and I've seen him live only once. I've known about him for 40 years. And in fact, the name of this show is called Tension, Attention, 40 ans. And you know, this is a Daniel Lavoie is he's a really fine artist. He's an artist in the true sense of the word. He's a great singer, great songwriter,
Yeah.
fine pianist. He's a good showman. He's fun, and but he's an artist in the
Yeah.
true sense of the word. And
Yeah.
you'll understand that because not everybody that sings is you can't always call these people, you know, beautiful artists. But
No,
Daniel
no, you're
Lavoie
right.
is really that. I'm so thrilled to have him. And the concert hall in Dorval, I mean, we've worked so hard. We've got Liam Lett, who's working on lighting before Danielle and his crew get there, and Duke Braun. You know, without these technical
Yeah.
people on the West Island, I don't know what we would do.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't
they've
happen.
really helped. It is, yeah. So that's Danielle, and then that's the 16th. And I could just mention too that I'm very thrilled about finally being able, after 3 years hiatus, of having our elementary school concert back. And we put on a concert called Musique Mosaïque or
Mm.
Music Mosaic, where we bring in performers who come from many different cultures and perform for the children who often are also from those cultures
Ah,
and who have, via these musicians, the opportunity to see their own people on stage and how incredible they are. So this year, for that concert on Wednesday, the 19th, we have a full auditorium of elementary and high school students, and
mm.
they're going to be seeing the Buffalo Hat Singers from Ganawage
Oh,
and
nice.
Barbara Diabo, the hoop dancer.
Oh,
As well,
fantastic.
they'll hear Octo Echo,
I don't know
a
that one.
trio from that. Oh, this is an incredible ensemble. I've heard them before with Ensemble Caprice, and they play music of the Middle East.
Oh,
It's just so gorgeous, the way these people play.
mm.
And they've just come back from tour. And then we also have Fatima Wilson steel pan drums.
Mm.
So the kids will have a really interesting experience there. And
Lucky
that's
them.
Wednesday. Yeah, I'm thrilled about that because I believe that our work in bringing concerts to our younger people in the community is very important because they're the audience of the future.
Absolutely.
And if they
Yeah.
haven't had an opportunity to see live music, they won't even know what it is. Their
Yeah.
parents, many of their parents have never had the opportunity. They don't know what it is.
Different sounds from different cultures. It's so nice that
Yeah,
you're
that's true.
presenting this as the way music is. We hear the Western music so much. We're inundated with
Yes,
that sound. We're filled with it, but
that's
there's
true.
so much else in the world to enjoy
Yeah.
and to feel the richness inside ourselves. Giving that to children is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I thank you for saying that because I love it. I like as I said, you know, I sit in the audience and just watch these people, and I think that I'm so inspired. I feel that music, and well, of course, it enriches us, but I also feel it can change our life.
I agree.
And
Yeah.
when I watch all of these performers, there's something in every performance that changes my life and makes it
Wow.
much better.
Wow.
So I think that if we allow ourselves to be drawn in and enriched and really focus on what's happening on stage,
Hmm.
it brings us to a place that nothing else can bring us.
I agree. Yeah, it's
So,
mysterious and powerful, hard to
mhm.
articulate.
It is the vibrations, the musical vibrations,
Yeah.
but also the being in the room with the performers and watching them interact with each other and interact with us in the audience and feel their compassion and their passion for what they're doing.
Hmm.
That is so inspirational to us. And people have told me that, particularly during the pandemic, that these concerts have saved their lives.
Wow.
So who
Amazing.
knows what people are going through? And
Yeah.
if it can reach just one person, then I think it's really worthwhile.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's next week's school
That's
concert. And
two
then
singers talking.
and then the following weekend, I'm really, absolutely delighted to have Myriam Leblanc and Ensemble Mirabilia.
Mm.
And, from Messina Musica, and I'd love to talk to you about Messina Musica, talk about changing people's lives. But Messina Musica sent me a disc of Myriam Leblanc. And I listened to this, Barbara, and I thought, who is this singing? It was a program of All Vivaldi. It's Myriam Leblanc. It's one of the most exquisite voices I have ever heard. So I thought, well, we just have to have Myriam Leblanc at the festival. So I contacted her right away, and she is such a lovely person. She's so down to earth, also a choral conductor, and
Oh,
I
wow.
know she's taught violin in the past, and very polyvalent,
Eclectic. Oh,
as we
yes.
say. Yes, exactly. And she said she would love to come. So her husband's playing Baroque flute and two other members with them with the Ensemble Mirabilia. That's the 22nd in that beautiful church in Pointe Claire, Saint-Joachim,
Ah,
at
okay.
7 p.m. So you can just imagine with that incredible acoustic in that gorgeous church,
Yeah. I
what this
want to be
concert's going to
there.
sound like. Yeah, me too, me too. Thank you, Barbara. And opening that concert is Opus 16,
Ah,
which is they're a community choir under the direction of Alain Lanctot, and they do beautiful work. Alain is a wonderful singer himself,
hmm.
and he's a very fine conductor. So I'm really happy to have Opus 16 this year again. And then on the 23rd, so here's the big concert I want everybody to know about.
Okay.
It's called Nikamu Mamui Tum, and
Hmm.
it means songs that bring us together,
Oh,
songs that unite
wonderful.
us, chansons rassembleuses. And it features four young First Nations artists who are flying down from four different nations in northern Quebec.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And they team up with this group of young Montreal singer-songwriters. Together, they've written a show called Nikamu Mamuitum, and I saw it last year. I was so moved, and I thought that, we speak about reconciliation, we talk about it, but we don't. I think many of us don't really know how we can practice that as individuals.
Hmm.
And I thought, you know, it would be wonderful to have these young artists play and sing for us at the festival and to give other kids the opportunity to meet with them because they're almost kids themselves. They're only in their early 20s.
Yeah.
And so we've invited Beaconsfield High School students to come out for free. And
Fantastic.
any students that want to come, they can come for free. And we're hoping to fill the auditorium April the 23rd, Sunday at 3
I'll
p.m.
be there. I've got
Oh,
tickets. I'm really
thanks,
looking forward to this
Barbara.
one. For those of us on the West Island, is it only in French and perhaps Aboriginal languages, or is there
Well,
some
it's funny
English?
you should ask that. It's funny because I was speaking with one of the artists today, Marcy, originally from Saguenay,
Mm.
and she's going to speak to some of the students at Beaconsfield High School tomorrow, Friday, and she was saying, well, do you want me to speak in English or in French? And I said, well, I think it would be great to do both and at the show as well. She said, okay, yeah. She said, we can do
Fantastic.
that. She said, some of us aren't so at ease, we just haven't had an opportunity to speak English because they're, way up north. They speak their their
Of
First
course.
Nations languages.
Yeah.
But I said, even if you just smile and say hello, people are going to absolutely love you. And there's one guy who's kind of a rock singer with a kind of a grungy voice, and that's
Uh-huh.
fun. He's a sweetheart. You can tell he's a sweetheart. But the harmony singing among the others is so beautiful, and the songwriting is so moving,
Mm,
and they tell their personal stories.
wonderful.
And through song, but also they speak a little bit about their lives,
Oh, I'm
and
excited. I'm
so it's
excited to hear this.
yeah, it's very
So I don't have to
moving.
take
And
my earplugs, eh?
well, it's a good idea to take earplugs anyway. That's a very good point. My
Yeah.
husband, Michael, because Mike's a trumpet player, he's always worried about his hearing.
Oh, yeah.
But you shouldn't have to because Duke Braun is a very sensitive
Sound
sound
man.
engineer,
Fantastic.
and I
Okay.
feel that he does his very best. But it's a good point, and I feel I must remember too to ask the artists to not overplay because you want to hear beautiful music. You don't want to be blasted out of the room.
Yeah. But tell us
Yes.
now about
Uh,
you singing because I'm so eager to go and hear you sing. You're singing the
Oh,
final
that's so
concert,
nice.
aren't you?
Yeah, yes, but I am an aside. I'm a side attraction. The
Okay.
the main attraction on the Friday the 28th, it's a free concert, and it's presented by les Fusiliers de Mont-Royal,
Yes.
which is a concert band of reservists with the Canadian military. And this is an excellent band. These are people that have master's degrees, doctoral degrees in music, people like Jennifer Bell and Bill Maher, who are major on the music scene in Montreal, and so many others, really, really great players. And they're doing a wonderful concert of, I think, opera excerpts, music theater excerpts, concert band material, but really played beautifully.
Okay.
And they've asked me to sing a couple of pieces with them. So one of the ones is that beautiful theme music from Cinema Paradiso.
Mm.
Gosh, that's a beautiful piece of music. So I've been memorizing and memorizing. I've been memorizing for about 6 weeks. And the other
Wow.
is from an operetta. Maybe you know it, and it's called the Wilhellied.
No.
Do you know that?
No.
So
How
I
does it
didn't know it
go?
either.
Can you sing a little bit?
Um, Yeah, let's see. Es liebt eine Wilche, ein Wald mit
Oh, sure, I know that.
Leid. I've heard the melody, but I'd never heard the lyrics. So you do know it.
I know the melody too. I guess I assumed that there were lyrics, but so nice
Okay,
to hear you sing.
okay.
I'm so excited for all of this. I
Oh,
wish I
that's
could
so
go to
nice.
everything. And you articulate, you make us want to hear these people. You're a wonderful presenter of beautiful music. Kudos to you. To say, is there anything else you'd like to?
Just that all of the information is on our website,
Right. Yeah.
festivaldelavoix.com.
Right.
And I always like to tell people, some people aren't able to, our ticket prices are very reasonable.
Yes.
The most expensive concert this year is coming up anyway is Daniel Lavoie, and it's only
I
$45. It's
know.
less than
Yeah.
seeing Daniel Lavoie anywhere else,
Oh, yeah.
but everything's reasonable. But I always say to people, if for some reason you want to come to something you can't afford it, speak to me. We're happy to give tickets to people that really are not able because I'm always concerned about the people that are on the fringes, people that need to be supported.
Yep.
So we'd
Yep.
love to
Good
have
for you. Yeah.
everybody there.
Okay. Okay.
And
Wonderful.
you're amazing, Barbara. Thank you. Yeah,
Oh, it's,
I'm in your fan club.
well, I'm in yours. So wonderful. I look forward to seeing you. And thank you so much for what you've done for this community through this festival for so many years. You must have given up quite a lot of your own performing time with that extraordinary voice of yours and your singer-songwriter abilities too to prepare, create, and present this festival. It's a big, big thing that you've done. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you very much, Barbara. If we're all together, then I'm happy.
Okay. All right. I'll see you there. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you very much. Bye bye.